Hi, this is my automatic potion brewer. It is smart, compact, intuitive in its user interface. It's break resilient. It can brew all potions except for awkward, mundane, and thick, but who cares? It has batch options, so you can brew one batch or any amount. It has overflow protection. It has flexible stocking, so you can be missing an ingredient, but as long as you're not using it, you can still use the machine. Its profile is only 27 by 11, and it's 6 tall, arguably 5. This first layer is just floor. It has only 6 inputs. It has a potion selection book, so you select which kind of potion you want here, and then you can choose if you want to enhance its level, extend its duration, make it a splash potion, or make it a lingering potion. And then once you're all done with that, you can just flick this down. And if you hold down, then it continuously makes potions, but if you just flick it once and flick it back up a second later, then it only makes one batch. Now I have some in here just from previous tests, but they will come into this chest, down this hopper line. The chest is here to keep all of the input and output in one place, but if you do want to speed up how fast the potions get to you, you can make some hoppers down through the machine here if you have space, just to pull the potions out sooner. It does have error detection here, so if you have an invalid input, for example, if you try to extend the duration, say on something like harming, it won't let you do it, and you won't be able to brew a potion. If you have both enhanced level and extend duration, it'll be an invalid. But if everything's okay, then that'll turn off. Now, if you are missing an ingredient, then this light will turn on and also won't let you brew the potion. Over here, lingering and splash are separate levers, but if you select lingering, it does select splash, because of course they're the same thing. Now that I've shown you how it works, how to use it, I'll get into the tutorial. For the materials, you'll need all of this. It's enough to fit in your inventory. These are filter items here. You'll need 59 of one filter item and then 8 of a different kind of filter item. It is important that it is different and cannot stack with the other type. You'll need this book here. So it'll be 15 pages, and it does need to be in this specific order, otherwise the brewer will not work. So it goes swiftness, slowness, leaping, strength, healing, harming, poison, regeneration, fire resistance, water breathing, night vision, invisibility, turtle master, slow falling, and weakness at the end. Once you have that and all these materials, you'll need to get your blocks. You can either choose to use color coordinated blocks like I'm using, or you can just use solid blocks here. This is how many you'll need, and you can use either glass or slabs. Either one works. I'll be using the colors just to give commentary on what each line is doing as I'm building. Now that we have that, you'll need to set up a interface wall, kind of like this. 1 floor level and then 5 wall blocks. The selector on the bottom left and the switch on the bottom right. These are what all the signs indicate. So you'll need lamps, levers, your lectern, and then a double chest right there. Also in these materials, you can use barrels in some places, but in other places you can't. So generally you can just use chests. First we're going to get started on the green line. You'll need redstone, torches, repeaters, comparators. So along here you'll need 25 blocks of space behind the wall. You're going to start with a torch here and then extend this line all the way to the back here. I'm going to pop this corner up, put one there, block there, and this strange pattern here. You want to put dust all along here until it reaches the end, and you put a repeater there with a block at the end to repeat the signal, and continue this all the way over there. Repeater facing into that block, a comparator facing in that way, and then repeaters, a repeater like that. You want blocks on these holes, dust at the end, comparators here, and comparators facing back here. So that'll be your clock, and you put a torch there to power it. You'll want to put a dust there, and blocks all along here, like there. You want 6 redstone dust, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then a repeater facing that way to extend the signal so that it can reach all the way to the top. Next, you'll want blocks up here, starting with the glass block so that it can just get right back up there. And this will go almost all the way to the end. It's short, just 2 blocks, like that. You want 15 dust, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Repeater fading that way, and more dust here. You'll need to put a line right here that looks like that, with dust here, and then 2 repeaters there. And that's the green line all done. Next line we'll do is the brown line. This one is optional. It's just a audio indicator for when your potions start brewing and when they're done brewing. So that will go there with a repeater into a note block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right on this one. You'll need a block there with a comparator and a note block there. Next up, we're going to do the black line, which is the auto potion brewer part. So you want to put this like that in this kind of formation, 1 block short of the end, and then 1 up at the end right there. Put a repeater this way, and then redstone dust all the way along this line here, and then 1 out that direction. You will also need a target block right here so that this repeater is something to connect to, and a repeater right there. Now you'll need to connect up the hoppers back from this chest, so they'll start right there and then follow along the wall of this here, connecting to this note block until you get right there, and then you snake out this way 3 blocks, come back here, go right between here, and then finally 1 at the end there, and that is the block that your brewing stand will sit on. On top of all these, you'll want to put composters just to prevent lag, because this is a lot of hoppers. You're going to put hoppers on the sides like that, more up on the sides on top of those ones, on top of the brewing stand, and then all the way back out here with more hoppers. Until there, so right up until you can't anymore. And then on top of here, you'll put 2 hoppers like that, composter, 3 hoppers, a composter, and then the rest are downwards facing hoppers until you get there. Now you want to put a comparator there on top of this one with a couple chests, and also a redstone torch on top of here. And here you'll put your first filter item in like this, in both of these hoppers actually. For the next step in the redstone, you want a block on top of here like this, and a couple right here, and a couple right here. So kind of like that. You'll have redstone on top of this block on top of that dust, with a comparator facing into that. At the back of these comparators, you'll need a couple hoppers facing into each other, and another comparator facing on the back of that. Another comparator next to it facing into a block to lock that hopper, and also a torch to lock this hopper. In this, you'll need 50 junk items. So that'll act as your timer so that your system waits until you're done brewing in order to unlock. And now you'll need a dropper here with your last of that filter item in it and a hopper facing into that. You need a block to power the dropper and dust, and a comparator facing out of here coming from this block, which is connected to that hopper. Lag proof those two hoppers. This one will have other components on top of it. Add a hopper here with a double chest on top for more bottle storage. Now we'll do the white line. The white line is going to be the decoder, so it'll take output from the select turn and tell the computer what signal strength it is, or which potion it's supposed to be brewing. I want blocks here, here, a couple here, and then fill out the rest up until here, and then curve that into a block there. Put blocks on top of all these gaps, including this one, and then comparators like this, just to extend that signal all the way down. And then dust on top of all of these, repeater, and a torch on top of the block on top of that, and a torch on top of that. You'll need target blocks along here with torches on the back and blocks on top of all those torches. Also need repeaters on top of all of the target blocks with blocks on top of all these dusts. Dust all along here. And torches on top of all of these. Finally, you'll need a target block here with a torch there just to read out the first signal strength. We can move on to orange. So this will be the lingering line. I'll start behind this lamp, like this, just a couple blocks there, and then a block to cover that gap, and a block on top there. You'll need a torch here, a block above the torch, another torch there, repeater here, a couple blocks there, and comparator feeding into a torch there. You'll need dust there and a repeater there. Now this little X formation is going to take up the bulk of this part of the machine. It's just the logic circuit that makes the whole thing run basically, and it'll be a part of each one of these slices. Now the yellow line, which will be for splash potions, connects up with this repeater, block there with torches. Blocks like that, repeater, comparator, and a block there. Now the blue line. Now the blue line is going to need a lot of information from this decoder, and it's going to need to wind its way through the whole thing. So you need blocks like this, just a zigzag pattern, this funny little pattern like that. Now you need blocks there, on that ledge, and a target block with a torch on top at the end. Dust feeding all along there, like that. And then this torch here on the back of the lamp. Cover these gaps. Blocks like that, leaving this one open. And you'll need 2 blocks like that with dust on top and a torch at the end. And these will feed into dust here, repeaters into these blocks, repeater back into that block, and a torch on the other one, with a repeater coming out of it into this block. And then from this dust over here, you'll feed into these two blocks. On top of this, you'll need a torch, and you'll need a torch on top of this one as well. Now this torch will feed into our logic gate mechanism, so torches on there, our comparator, our repeater, and our last block there with our torch. I forgot the torch on the yellow too, make sure that's there. Now the light blue line, similar story to the dark blue line. This will be our enhanced level. So we'll need a torch on the back of this with 3 blocks coming out like this, all with dust on them. And this will step down to here, like this, into a block there, and then back over here, you'll need a couple blocks like this, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks like that. All the way over to the end, connecting up to the white, you'll need 2 here, 1 there, and then some blocks too on 1 layer above to cover these gaps, except for this one. Now right here, you'll need a repeater and some dust along all of this, a torch out like that, similar to this, dust along all here, feeding into a couple target blocks right there, a repeater facing into this target block, and a torch out of that one, similar to here. You'll need, in order to extend this line, you'll need dust here and a repeater here, and then connect all the way up to our lever. You'll need dust here with a block above this torch here. You'll also need a target block here. Now on top of here, you just make your usual thing. Oh, and on the side of this target block, you'll need a torch like that. So comparator, repeater, block, torch. Next, we are going to do the cyan line. We'll start on this block here, a couple cyan here, a block up on the adjacent corner like that, and then 1, 2, 3 blocks. I'm gonna make another circuit over here, the repeater, the comparator, and the torch. Now on these 2 blocks, you'll need repeaters facing into that, feeding out from this torch, dust on there, and another torch to power that, and a dust on there. Now this will be powered by a line of non-solid blocks and solid blocks. So you need a solid block on the end there, and then 1, 2, 3, and then a solid block, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then a solid block, then the last 2 here, and a solid block on top of there. And the rest is to cover this all with dust. Now is on to kind of the bulk of the system, is these gray lines over here. Just alternating these different layers. Then mirror that on the other side of the light blue line. One up. And repeat the same thing on this side. And finally repeat it one more time up against these hoppers. Okay, you'll need torches along all of these blocks. And over here you'll need a pretty specific pattern of repeaters. These can all be repeaters down here, but just to speed up slightly what's happening, I've replaced some of these with dust. Will be a repeater here, and then dust, repeater, dust repeater, dust repeater. So 4 repeaters so far, dust, and then 4 in a row like this, and then dust repeater. So it's dust repeater, dust repeater, repeater, dust repeater, dust repeater, 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 dust repeater, repeater. So it'll look like that. If you just want to copy from the screen, it's probably a better idea. Next is to complete these circuits here. So just the blocks on top of there. Torches on here. Blocks there. Torches like this. Comparators like this. Repeaters. And then a last layer of blocks. The last ingredient line will be our purple line. This. So purple there. Purple there like that. A couple repeaters on top of those. And then complete this circuit here. Torches. Comparator. Repeater. Black. The purple line is for Nether Wart, by the way. Now that's the error, the invalid input error line, which will be Magenta. I want to go to these 2 target blocks, one off the end there, and then 2 diagonal like that. A dust on top of there, and a repeater facing that way there. Connect this with a couple blocks. This is going to snake up to there. Dust on that. And then in this direction, you'll need a couple blocks here and here with a torch on top of this target block. Block there, a block there, a block there with a couple repeaters facing this way. Extra block like this, and a block like that, and a block like that. The repeater facing into that. Dust there, and then a target block to connect that to the green line. Last and not least is the red line, which will be our out of stock detector. Put a block there with a comparator feeding out of the water bottle chests. Then a little bit of an S pattern like this with torches there, block there, dust here, a repeater there. Next you'll need the glass block on here just to prevent the dropper from bed powering. A block on there with redstone into it. And blocks all the way along here up until you reach the target block. And then fork out from here and connect that light as well, like that. Now this whole thing will need to be covered in dust, except for right here above the error line, you'll need a repeater like this. And dust the whole way along here with a repeater right here. You want to fill these with your ingredients or your fuel for the brewing stand. Yeah, so blaze powder and water bottles. Blaze powder will go in the left one here, and the water bottles will go in the right. Now I'm pretty sure you can put your other filter blocks up the top, right there, and keep filling these with blaze powder. And this side with water bottles. There, satisfying. You'll want a specific pattern of chests because some of these will be double and they'll need to cover 2 hoppers because some potions share ingredients. So just shift click chests here, single, single, 3 singles, a double, 3 singles, a double, 3 singles, double, 3 singles. Pretty simple pattern. And you might want to name these chests as you're placing them, just so you can look in them and know which item you need. For example, if I name one of these chests here, like Nether Wart, and then I place it down, I'll know that from this title that I need to put Nether Wart in there if it's out of stock. It has to be in these orders, so this was Dragon's Breath, Gunpowder, Redstone Dust, Glowstone Dust, and Fermented Spiderite, and then all the way at the end here at this one, you put your Nether Wart. So let's just put these in. So we'll go in the order I said from left to right. So you can just follow visually if you need to. Turtle helmet in there, phantom membrane in there. Alright. Now this should be ready to brew some potions. Common potions I need are splash weakness for zombies. Turn that off. And then we can select a different one. Another one we need is like extended fire resistance. And this will brew back here. Takes like 50 seconds, or no, less than that, for each ingredient. This can brew just regular weakness also. That's something that some other potion brewers can't do because it's the only potion that only requires one ingredient. But this does have protection against that. That's what this whole dropper hopper clock is for. So now that it was done with those, these will travel along here. Made our splash potion of weakness. These are just in here from my last test. Some extra notes on this. Tutorial's done, by the way. This is my second version of this. The first version is, you might have seen over here. It's, I think, over three times as big. It just wasn't something I was proud of. It didn't have differentiated air lights. You couldn't make basic weakness potions. It was slow. It's clunky, and it doesn't have flexible stocking. So if you were missing an ingredient for water breathing, you couldn't make anything else, for example. But you know, the basic idea was here, and then I condensed it into this. Fire resistance should definitely be done by now. Yep, there it is. All right, that's it. Hope you like it.